let's say I have two D flip-flops, and remember D flip-flops are where Q follows D, so the output is just whatever the input is. And I'll have, this will be flip-flop 0, and this will be flip-flop 1, and they have a clock. And for this problem, I'm going to have the clock actually attached to the clock. Sometimes you attach something other than the clock to the clock. And I'll have a Q bar here on 0 because I'll just make this one a little different. And I'll have, so this is the clock. I'll have an input, I'll call it X, and the input X goes into Q0, and I'm going to have Q bar going into Q1. And so here's Q1, and here's Q0. And I want to draw my what my output looks like. And so first I'll have my clock, and these are positive edge triggered flip-flops. And do you see how I know that they're positive edge triggered flip-flops?
Yes.
Yeah. There's no bubble on them. Yeah. And then 0, 1, or 0, 1, I'll have X do that. And now I need to draw Q0 and Q1. And so I want to look at the positive clock edge. And I'll say Q0 starts at 0. When it gets to a positive clock edge, it's going to look at its input, and Q0's input is X, and X is at 1, so it'll change to 1, and it'll stay at 1 all the way until the next positive clock edge. At the next positive clock edge, it looks at X, and X is 0, so it'll go down to 0. Now, I'm going to change the way I drew this, because it does not change instantaneously, so it'll make things a little more clear if I make it have a little bit of a delay right there. And that's what really does happen. So I'm going to draw it like that. You don't have to. Well, in this assignment, you don't have to. You might have to at some other point. And then at this clock edge, it will change to 1 again. And at this clock edge, it'll change to 0. And then it'll stay at 0. Now, Q1 looks at the naught of Q0. So the naught of Q0, I'm going to draw that one in here, is going to be the complement. So it'll be the exact opposite Okay, so that's the naught of Q0. So that's the input for Q1. And so Q1 is going to look at this signal that I have down here. So I'm going to say that Q1 starts at 1, just that'll be given to you. And when Q1 gets to this clock edge and it looks at Q0 naught, it sees that Q0 naught is still at 1. Even though it's changing to 0, at the clock edge, it's still at 1, so it'll stay at 1. And when it gets to the next clock edge, when it looks at Q0, it will see, or Q0 bar, it will see that Q0 bar is at 0 because it has not yet changed to 1, so it will go down to 0. And at the next clock edge, it will go up to 1. And then at the next clock edge, Wait, why did I make it go? Yeah, it went to 1. At the next clock edge, it'll go down to 0. And then at the next clock edge, it will go up to 1. And it'll stay at 1.